By the end of this video, you will finally understand the hidden forces that truly control the brain of AI. Forget about code, neural networks, or genius engineers. Your current understanding is likely a complete and total illusion. You think this battle is about OpenAI, Google, or Microsoft. But the reality is that these giants are just the tenants. Today, I am going to show you the landlord, the invisible physical force that actually holds the ultimate kill switch. We are rapidly moving from an era of digital freedom to a brutal new kind of physical and industrial feudalism. In this race, it's not the person who writes the best code that wins. It's who owns this. Let's find out why. Everyone is currently obsessed with who has the smartest large language model. But here is the truth. Code is becoming a cheap commodity. Algorithms are being leaked, copied, and open-sourced every single day. The secret sauce is no longer a secret. If code is free and accessible, why is AI power concentrating into fewer hands than ever before? Algorithms are just the tip of the iceberg. The reality is exactly the opposite of the hype. If code were the only barrier, we would see a massive explosion of independent AI power. Yet we see a digital bottleneck. To find the truth, we must look past the screen and toward the silicon wall. But wait, is it just about owning the chips? That is what the market wants you to believe, but the story is far deeper. You see, if anyone can write the code, then the code itself is no longer the ultimate weapon. The real wall is built of something you can actually touch and feel. While the digital world seems to be expanding infinitely, the physical gates to that world are actually closing. To control the future of AI, you don't need to own the mind. You need to own the skull. The skull is the hardware. But the problem isn't just about owning the intellectual property of a chip design. The real power belongs to the very few who can actually bake the silicon into existence. We are entering a phase where the virtual world meets a physical iron curtain. The global power dynamic is shifting away from brains and toward massive bricks and mortar infrastructure. While you are chatting with a bot, a massive industrial infrastructure is breathing beneath the surface. It is not a magical cloud. It is a heavy-duty factory, and factories have brutal physical requirements that lines of code simply cannot fulfill. This leads us to the most dangerous bottleneck in human history. The process of baking reality has only just begun to show its teeth. You might think hardware is just about patents and silicon designs, but the problem is much more physical than that. There is only one company in the entire world that builds the machines capable of building the chips we need. It is a singular, fragile bottleneck of our modern civilization. Without these machines, the digital evolution of humanity comes to a grinding, permanent halt. But even the masters of silicon have a master with an even more massive appetite. Chips are essentially useless if they aren't breathing in a specialized environment. AI has a deep biological requirement. It drinks water by the millions of gallons, and it eats electricity by the gigawatt. This brings us to problem C. The staggering physical cost of sustaining our digital gods. Having the fastest chips in the world is like owning a high-end Ferrari in a world with no roads. The bottleneck isn't in the math. It is where the digital world plugs into the physical power grid. Without a massive, dedicated power line, your AI is just a collection of expensive sand. This is the new frontier where the real wars of the future are being fought. Every advanced AI query consumes as much energy as a small village uses in an hour. The reality is exactly the opposite of the clean and weightless tech dream we were sold. We are building a massive, coal-powered future to sustain a digital heaven. The power grid is no longer just a public utility. It has become the new fortress of sovereign power. To run the next generation of models like GPT-5, you don't just need better math. You need massive, stable, and uninterrupted lightning. The physical limits of our power transformers are the true boundaries of human intelligence. If the grid cannot handle the surge, the smartest algorithm in the world stays silent. The physical world is finally pushing back against the digital expansion. And here is the kicker that most people miss. True control lies elsewhere. It is not in Silicon Valley boardrooms. It is in the hands of those who control the cooling water and the transformer stations. If you control the water, you control the heat. If you control the heat, you decide who gets to think. Intelligence has become a thermal management problem. This is the biological requirement of AI. It is a physical parasite that must stay cool to survive. We are witnessing the biggest land grab in human history right now. Tech giants aren't just buying up software startups. They are buying the very ground beneath our feet, specifically the land with existing permits for high-voltage power and massive water rights. Microsoft is buying up old nuclear plants for a very specific reason, because code is useless without a reliable source of lightning. This is the birth of the energy tech cartels. The digital gods are finally being grounded by the earth itself. The virtual world is being reclaimed by the ancient, stubborn laws of physics, geography, and raw resource ownership. The wars of the future will not be fought over data encryption protocols or social media algorithms. They will be fought over substation capacity and cooling pipe infrastructure. When the power goes out, the cloud simply evaporates into nothing. We are returning to an era where proximity to raw power is the only thing that matters for technological survival. We built a digital god only to find it lives in the dirt and the water. The virtual frontier has finally reached its physical limit. As we enter the next decade, the focus of the world's most powerful people is shifting from the elegance of the code to the raw, industrial power of the machine. The era of the digital landlord has officially begun. Every single AI query you type actually drinks a large bottle of fresh water. This is the hidden, silent tax on human intelligence. In a world facing increasing water scarcity, the decision to cool a server rack or water a thirsty crop is becoming a brutal political weapon. Geography is becoming destiny once again, as the digital world demands physical sacrifice from our environment. True control of the mind now lies in the hands of those who own the physical grid. If a single transformer blows or a cooling pipe bursts, the silicon god disappears instantly. We are not witnessing a simple tech revolution. We are witnessing the birth of a new form of land ownership. The digital frontier is being fenced in by the old masters of atoms and energy. Tech giants are rapidly transforming into the new global utility companies. They are building private power grids, proprietary water systems, and entire industrial cities designed solely to feed the machine. They are no longer just tenants of our society. They are becoming the architects of a new physical feudalism where the power to compute is synonymous with the power to rule. As these companies secure their own energy sources, they disconnect from the public's needs. We are seeing a great decoupling. While the average person struggles with rising energy costs, the AI clusters are fueled by private nuclear reactors and dedicated dams. This isn't just a technological gap. It is a fundamental shift in how resources are distributed across the entire human species. The bottleneck of the future isn't how many parameters your model has, but how many megawatts you can sustain without melting the local infrastructure. We are hitting the thermal ceiling of the digital age. To go further, we must rethink everything from urban planning to global logistics. The software has reached its limit. Now the hardware and the earth must bear the burden. Think about the supply chain of a single AI chip. It spans continents and relies on rare materials guarded by complex geopolitics. This is the silicon iron curtain. The freedom of the internet was a temporary anomaly. We are returning to a world where physical checkpoints and resource blockades decide which nations get to join the intelligence revolution and which are left behind in the dark. Every layer of the AI stack, from the quartz in the glass to the lithium in the backup batteries, is a physical chain. Control one link, and you control the entire output. The era of the borderless digital world is dying. In its place, we see a hyper-physical reality where the location of a single data center can shift the economic balance of an entire continent. So back to our original question, who actually controls the brain? It's not the genius with the best algorithm or the cleanest code. It's the physical monopoly. It is the coalition of land, water, and the wire. The data shows the exact opposite of our digital dreams. The landlord hasn't just returned. The landlord has upgraded to a level we can barely comprehend. The secret sauce of modern AI was never the elegance of the math. It was always about pure, raw scale. The ability to dominate the physical environment at a level never before seen in human history. As the digital market reaches saturation, the final battle moves back to the world of atoms. To win the future, you must dominate the physical reality supporting the illusion. The companies you see in the headlines are merely the visible interface. Behind them stands the silent, massive infrastructure of the grid. The wire is the leash, the water is the breath, and the land is the anchor. AI is not some ethereal force floating in space. It is deeply and dangerously rooted in the very soil we walk upon every day. We are moving into a period where the cloud becomes a physical fortress, a place with its own borders, its own guards, and its own laws of physics. The transition is almost complete. The digital age was just the scouting phase for the total industrialization of intelligence. Now, the heavy machinery is moving in to claim the territory once and for all. In this new world, your access to AI is not guaranteed by a subscription or a password. It is guaranteed by the stability of the physical grid that supports it. We have built an intelligence that is more fragile than the civilizations that created it. The kill switch is no longer a line of code. It is a physical valve in a cooling pipe. We built a digital god only to find it lives in the dirt and the water. The question for the next generation isn't if AI will replace you, but who gets to decide if your AI stays online. Keep your eyes fixed on the physical world. That is where the real power resides. That is where the future of our species is being decided. Watch the wire. Follow the water. The digital dream is over. The physical age of intelligence has officially begun. The landlord is watching and the meter is running. Welcome to the real world. I'll see you at the next checkpoint. Keep your eyes open and your mind grounded in the soil.